This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Welcome to DBL. It is Thursday, October 21st. I am Steve Jobs here with Jeff and Al. Just kidding, I'm Tori. It's good to see everyone.
Own it.
Own it. I'm owning it. Well, there's a big update in the 5-week manhunt for Brian Laundrie. The FBI has found unidentified human remains, along with a backpack and a notebook belonging to Laundrie. It's in a nature reserve in Florida. Now, a lawyer for Laundrie's family said, quote, the probability is strong that it is Brian's remains. Brian's parents led investigators to the site, which was previously underwater. Laundrie's fiancée, Gabby Petito, was found strangled to death last month, and he is a person of interest in her murder.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's him. I mean,
right? It's his notebook.
It's a guessing
taking a long time to announce it.
Listen, I think we talked about this, at length, but I think they're really being careful. As much as people said they didn't do the right things, they're really trying to cross their T's and dot their I's, right? So I think they're releasing information when they think it's necessary. I think it's him. I think they're trying to get everything in order. The only, I think everyone's question is, why are the parents leading them there now? I mean, that's where we're at.
And may I add, to speculation only, this is not known, but do the parents get a deal? Is that why they led them to the remains? Is there immunity on the table? Because at some point, obstruction of justice or accessory or whatever it is they knew has to be looked at. And so I wonder if that's why.
That's a fair question.
Yeah, I mean, it's
why the sudden change of heart, Right. I keep trying to tell myself, Jeff and Tori, there's a family here. So no matter when you want the information, when I feel like they should have come forth, there's still a family that's going to have grief every minute until this experience of life is over. So I like to think about that and remember that when we talk about these stories, remember there's a family at the heart of it. But it's been a frustrating process because it's so opaque and we don't know what the justice system's doing.
Speaking of family and personalizing, because everyone could speculate, right? If you were that family, God forbid, would you want him found dead or alive? Would it be a preference to either of you?
I for sure want alive.
Always want alive.
I want alive. I want to know why.
So
I want
get some answers,
I want
some
answers.
closure.
That's it.
And also, Jeff, I mean, we sit on this panel and have for years, and we've talked to people that have done something horrible and gone to jail for 10, 15, 20 years and fixed it and come out and made a positive impact. Like, especially as young as he is, no matter what happened, and it looks like something really tragic happened, we don't want to start telling our young people, if something bad happens, kill yourself.
Yeah,
There's always a better option.
Yeah.
But I also don't want them to have a Netflix special in 10 years either.
Yeah, we need to do something about that, but people have a morbid curiosity. So,
no, I agree. I don't want this on Petito. I want Gabby Petito's name to resonate and not his, so that's important here. Well, there's been a lot of talk. I'm fascinated by this story about passengers on board a Philadelphia train this week. A little triggering if you are with sexual assault. I just want to let you know. According to officials, passengers took out their phones and filmed a man raping a stranger, but did not report the crime to authorities. I'm just trying to let you guys hear that and sink in. A man was later arrested and charged with the crime, and now officials are saying that those witnesses will likely not face charges for failing to do more to stop it. Now, in a similar story, the mayor of Atlanta held a press conference yesterday asking folks to please call and report crimes to police rather than just filming and posting the video to social media. Take a listen.
For us to be able to appropriately respond and assess, we just ask if you can put down your camera, put down your phone, call 911, and then allow us to do what we do.
So this is Police Superintendent Timothy Bernhardt, who wrote, anybody that was on that train has to look in the mirror and ask why they didn't intervene. And there's a famous case, you all know Kitty Genovese, back in '64. She was stabbed outside an apartment building, and many people heard her screaming, and no one called the police. And the Good Samaritan Act came out of that and all of that. But there's a psychological effect of not wanting to intervene, thinking someone else will do it, or maybe you're scared of the cops. What do you guys think? Jeff, what do you think?
I got to hear from you first.
Well, I think there's a lot of things to unpack, and I think there's a lot of reasoning. I think the number one reason is people just don't want to be involved, even in something horrific as this. They just don't want any part of it. Two, I think there's a social aspect to it, right? I want to be the first one to post this. I don't trust the police, blank the police, whatever's going on right now. Two, or another thing, maybe people might, if they film something like this, they might misconstrue it. There might be racism involved. There's a lot of there's a lot of social pressure out there to not want you to be involved, right?
Yeah.
So as horrific as this sounds, this might be an example of that we need to step in. People need to start stepping in, but I think society now with social media, it's scary. If you don't want to take a situation and be like, I thought it was sexual assault, and then all of a sudden you're accusing a black man of raping someone, and that's not what it was, and now your face is plastered all over the TV screen. I'm not saying that's what's the case here. I'm just giving you excuses of why people might not want to be involved anymore.
And also, might I add that maybe people thought they were helping by recording. You know, George Floyd, may he rest, that woman that took that video won the Pulitzer. And some people say that's the only evidence we had. So perhaps they thought they were helping and thinking someone else would have called.
Well, I mean, that's a glasses half full way to look at it.
Well,
I look at it as like
now.
this is a train car full of people that are dead inside. Because if you can look at this, see a sexual assault happening, and film it, keep your hands steady, but not do anything, how disconnected are you from life, from what the world is? There's just a part of you that Jeff and Tori, literally Tori runs to situations that she should not be involved in. She's not a doctor, but her natural instinct is to help, and that overrides logic in some places. And so the fact that these people were calmly able to open their phone, put their code in, find the video app, pull it up, decide whether they're going to shoot long way or lengthwise. I mean, that's a real disconnect that I think is really scary. It's bigger than the story. It's more about a mentality of a people. It's
called the bystander effect, and it's a psychological issue. And it's, as we get more and more into not being human and family, the less we care about the other.
Are you blaming social media at all for this?
Oh yeah, I am. I think there's a lot here. I think I don't want to call the police. I think I'm already helping, and I want to post. I think all of those and I also think they thought someone else would call the cops. And when Kitty Genovese was killed, they asked all these apartment building people who heard her screaming, they all said, I was sure someone else would do it. And that's why I just implore you, if you are out there and you see something, get your phone out if you want to, but at least make the call. Do something.
We also have
active.
to be honest, though. There is a social currency to having that video. I mean, good and bad. The young woman that recorded the George Floyd murder was attacked online for not putting her phone down and helping. But also, that was the footage that
won the Pulitzer.
Changed the course of how we look at police in this country. So it's very important. You know, the Capitol riots, a lot of the people that have been arrested were from second and third hand video that people went through and found. So it's this weird thing where we want the police to do their job, but sometimes the police need the people to show up with their cameras in order to do their jobs. There's this weird dependency on each other.
It's a juxtaposition. So what, you see me stutter over that because I'm like, I don't know what I'm saying.
It's hard.
Throwing a big word here and move on.
It's
I don't mean to make light of this, but I think it's social media. I think people are disconnected with how we communicate as humans. We don't talk about anything anymore. We communicate through our phones. So if they do that and they post that, I think in their mind,
they're helping.
They think they're doing enough. And when I say you see someone being sexually harassed or sexual assault, I'm not crazy. I know discernment. I know what's going on there. Some people call police for walking their dog in the park. So let's not think that that's totally out of the ballpark.
And by the way, the cops were there in 3 minutes because a SEPTA employee called and said something felt wrong. They were there in 3 minutes and arrested the man. So, interesting story, good conversation.
I don't know if something shouldn't happen to those people on that train, though.
That's what many people are thinking as well. Let us know what you guys think on YouTube, on DBL app, on dailyblastlive.com. Coming up on DBL, we got Cheryl Hines. She's giving us an inside look at the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. You don't want to miss our interview with her. Plus, the best TV shows of the last 20 years ranked. Al, Jeff, and I could talk about this for hours. Did your favorite show make the cut?
Closed captioning provided by
So that was an interesting conversation, kind of breaking that down a little bit. I tend to lean towards blaming social media a lot for those things, so it's just one of my positions, so take that with a grain of salt. But I really do. I think where we're living right now, you know, the era of people coming up and, you know, I was not joke about it, but, you know, everyone getting a ribbon growing up, and if you're in 10th place, it's as good as first place, and there is no differentiating anybody in any sort of aspect. I don't like that. I don't like that style of parenting.
Right.
I think you need to go through lessons and lose, and it doesn't mean you need to be homeless at some point. I mean, you need to go through bumps in the road in life to learn lessons from them, right? And it's kind of the carrot and the stick. We don't discipline anyone anymore. I feel like
because it is also like, think about how you played football, and I'm sure there were guys like you on the team where you needed the coach to come in and say, Shorter, you're better than this, you're playing terribly, you know, and smack you on the rear end and say, have a good second
or talk
half.
to me aggressively or
but
something.
But that same speech to somebody else could psychologically shut them down.
Me and Tori have this all the time.
Right, and
she can't handle that.
So I think a lot of parents
or not handle it.
Yeah,
she doesn't like that.
Your kids are different. My kids are super different, and like I think sometimes parents that are trying to be involved, like we don't know, should I push Jeff to keep on the track team, or he is pretty slow. Maybe there's something else he's better at. But do I then want to reinforce him quitting track? So like there's always these weird things as parents. We're like, we're trying our best, and we have the internet. Our parents were our age with nothing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I know.
I think a lot of times you don't know the best course of action. So, you know, I think a lot of times people just default to like, well, I don't know. I didn't see. It looked weird, but I didn't. Whereas
but
I think
there's got to be some sort of discipline too. Like just for my kid's example, they don't really like baseball. My little one, you got to wrap it up. But I want him to finish what he started. That's the lesson. I don't care how you do out there. I want you to finish what you started. And we're getting away from that because we're like, little Timmy doesn't like this. I want him to do what he likes.
How many stories start with I hated baseball?
Welcome back to DBL. A poll of TV critics from around the world has come up with the 100 best TV shows from the last 20 years.
Are we all 100?
We are number one.
Okay.
Here's a look at the top 5, so play along, see if you agree. Number 5, HBO hit Game of Thrones. Winter is coming. Number 4, Fleabag.
Of all time?
Fleabag?
Of all time?
Have you seen it?
No, last 20 years.
Last 20 years.
Still.
Fleabag is excellent, which was on Amazon Prime and starred British actress Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Breaking Bad came in at number 3. Mad Men is the second best TV show. And in the number 1 spot, The Wire, that aired on HBO from 2002 to 2008, which I think all 3 of us can agree I would be number 1. For me, at least, The Wire.
It's in there, but I'm going to throw Friday Night Lights in there as well. That's not my pick, but I think it's culturally, I think it has a big part in society.
Are you starting to watch that now?
Yeah, I am. So like that's why I can't speak on it.
You're only 20 years late.
I know. And I'm starting The Sopranos too. So hello.
Yeah, I just finished Sopranos.
2002.
2 of my favorite shows of all time, literally.
Good.
But my number 1, because I love dramas, I love Succession, I love The Wire, but I could only watch them once. I went to bed last night watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. I can watch it every night. We just said, well, did we have Cheryl Hines on yet?
We do.
She'll be here soon.
She'll be coming up. That's right.
The magic of television.
But yes, in honor of her, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That's a great choice.
This was not on the top 100, but this is mine. It's going to sound weird. The Surreal Life. And this is why. I feel like The Surreal Life. It took
who was that with?
That was with like Flavor Flav and the woman from because look at this. Think about how this started. This was washed up celebrities, right?
Ow.
We then did this. Then it became Flavor and the big Russian woman. They had their love thing. Flavor loves.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from that they had another spinoff. We got Rocka Love. We got I Love New York. It spun off all of these reality shows with semi-famous people in weird situations. And it spun to like this to now scripted reality. This was the genesis of all of that. Washed up reality stars.
I would argue that Real World is the beginning of reality.
They weren't famous when they started that.
I don't think Flavor Flav is in the top 100.
You don't think Flavor Flav was famous?
No, I do think he was famous. I just don't think that show should be in the top 100. But maybe I'm wrong.
It's the basis for a cornerstone of television. Scripted reality?
Okay, maybe.
Tori, quickly, what's yours?
I'm Arrested Development 100,000%.
So great.
I think you just don't have a show, and there's only 3 seasons, 2003 to 2006 before the reboot. If you ever want to see what good comedy writing is, these people worked on Golden Girls, Mitchell Hurwitz. It's so tight. It's the best show for me ever.
Rewatch it 100
1,000 times. And Flavor Flav.
I stand by my argument.
I was on The Surreal Life for a little stint.
Were you?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Interesting. Jeff was on The Surreal Life.
No, a stint.
All right, our interview with Cheryl Hines. What was her favorite part of her on-screen marriage to Larry David? Speaking of Curb Your Enthusiasm, that's coming up next.
Thanksgiving travel could be even more of a hassle this year. Let's connect the dots. Right now, airports are seeing staffing issues across nearly every position. One of the places most in need of workers, airport security. And those lines could get even longer starting next month. All federal employees, including TSA, are now required to get the COVID vaccine, but only 60% of TSA employees are currently vaccinated. And the deadline for them to roll up their sleeve is November 22nd, which is just 3 days before Thanksgiving. Now the head of the TSA says he's very hopeful this won't lead to a shortage of airport screeners for the holidays, but he does admit they are working on a backup plan in case a large part of their workforce is suddenly off the job. And many airlines are also weighing the same issue. American and Southwest are currently backing up plans to punish unvaccinated employees, saying they won't be fired or suspended right away. So what should you do if you're traveling this Turkey Day? Show up at the airport with several hours to spare and try to travel as early in the week as you can. That way you have some wiggle room if something goes wrong. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back to DBL. The world has changed, but this show hasn't. Trust me when I tell you that you'll need to curb your enthusiasm over this interview. Good one. I know I had to. Earlier, we sat down with Curb's very own Cheryl Hines to spill all about the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's today's Chatting with the Stars.
Please welcome the lovely Cheryl Hines.
Yay!
Hi, guys.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
Cheryl, we're so excited you're here. That was your first big gig. We had JB Smoove in studio, and he told us a great story about how he auditioned and, kind of improv with Larry to get that job. Do you have a story? Do you remember your audition process for Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Actually, they said you have kids with Larry, and you don't put up with his BS, and that's all we can tell you. And so I went in, and Larry said, I don't think you put enough milk in the kid's cereal bowl in the morning. And I said, well, I cover the flakes. And he said, well, just fill it up to the top. And that was the whole audition. We talked about that for a very long time. And then I got the part.
That's hilarious.
That's pretty much sums up the show. That sums up the show.
Exactly the show. I cover the flakes. Come on.
Obviously your character on the show is also named Cheryl, and you and Larry have a long history. You guys are married, then you guys were friends with benefits. So just in your opinion, what's like the funniest part of their relationship? Is it the married part or like friends with the benefits part?
Well, we do seem to get into a lot of trouble just being friends. It's not black and white, our relationship. There's a lot of gray area.
Like a real relationship.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the thing. I mean, that's what's really fun about Curb is we've been on for so long and we all have different relationships in the show, just like in real life, right? You have these complicated relationships, and that's me and Larry.
That ventriloquist scene was hilarious.
They're all hilarious.
Well, Cheryl, we know that Curb is fictionalized version of Larry's life, although sometimes we have to be reminded of such. So how much of the show is improvised versus produced, and what's the biggest overlap between real life and your characters?
Well, there's no script, so it's all of the dialogue is improvised. We have an outline. We just shoot it, and that's it. And you do it a few times. In real life, I love these guys. I love Larry and Susie and Jeff. And on the show, I like them.
Exactly. So let's talk about real life, Cheryl, because we all know what annoys Larry. We hear about it all the time. What's been the most annoying part of this past year for you, or just in general? For me, I don't like when people return their shopping carts. Or they don't, you know what I mean? So do you have an annoying little tick like Larry?
And do you return your shopping carts, Cheryl?
I I do, and I go to great lengths to return it, which then it stresses me because I'm like, I don't know. Should I leave my car open with the groceries, and is somebody gonna steal my groceries while I go? It's just very stressful.
I leave my kids in the car and return it.
Hoping somebody will steal your car. I don't particularly like when people. You guys are going to be like, who does this? When people spit in public.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, she
It's
just
not
hit
cute.
it. Yeah, it's
not
so
cute.
weird that people do that. And when they spit in like a drinking fountain, I'm like, who raised you? It is literally the grossest thing. And people just casually do it at the park. And I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Or they do the farmer's spit, which is through the nose.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's not cute.
Called a hawker.
Yeah,
Oh, my
not
goodness.
cute.
This has turned into
that's bad.
an
That is
episode of
bad.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
She clearly like set something
Yes.
off at everybody.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you,
all
Cheryl.
we all get it, Cheryl. So season 11 has an all-star lineup of guest stars. Who were you most excited to work with? And do you have any fun stories from set?
It was really fun working with Tracy Ullman.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that was kind of a dream. There's a scene where Larry and Tracy walk in the door, and it is just absurd. To even just looking at them together and what they're doing, it's just so hard not to burst out laughing, which we do all the time. That's another problem we have. We break all the time. But it was just like a dream because I love her, and just to see her walk in the door, it's like, whoa, I've made it.
Yeah, yes, you have. We cannot wait for season 11. In fact, it will premiere October 24th on HBO Max. Thank you so much. We adore you.
Yes.
Can't wait to see the premiere. We'll be right back. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thanks, guys.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
For the last 70 years, doctors have recommended aspirin to prevent heart disease. But now there are new guidelines about whether it's doing more harm than good. And Verify viewer Charles asked us to help clear things up. So Charles, let's verify. Is taking low-dose aspirin daily to prevent heart disease recommended? Our sources are the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, the American College of Cardiology, the president of the American Heart Association, and a cardiologist at Virginia Commonwealth University Health. The question started after the Preventative Services Task Force proposed new guidelines this month suggesting most adults should not start taking aspirin to prevent heart disease. Previously, it recommended daily aspirin for high-risk adults over 50. The American Heart Association points out this change just backs up what it recommended 2 years ago.
We're pulling way back on the recommendations for who needs aspirin. So this really means that millions of people who previously might have been recommended for aspirin now probably should not be taking it.
There are two main reasons for the new guidelines. One is how aspirin affects the body. It's a blood thinner, and new research shows not only does it have only a small impact on preventing first heart attacks, but it also puts patients at a greater risk of major bleeding. The other is that newer medicines can do a better job at treating the causes of first heart attacks, especially in younger patients.
For example, make sure your blood pressure is controlled. Make sure your cholesterol is controlled. If you're smoking, stop. And those are all much more likely to offer benefit with less overall risk than taking aspirin would be.
So it's false that low-dose aspirin is recommended to prevent heart disease for most adults. The new guidelines don't apply to adults who already have heart disease or were already prescribed a daily aspirin. And as always, talk with your doctor before making any changes. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Don't miss a day of DBL.
I am here to receive said gift.
Bold debates. Come on now.
Enough.
Get real.
It blows my mind.
Hot celebs.
Happy 5th anniversary.
Love a suit, by the way.
Thank you.
Seriously, Al, give her a break. That just sounded weird, actually.
And all the laughs. Yes, Erica feeling it. Okay, I'm done with you. I'm done. DBL is always all new every day.
Welcome back to DBL. You won't believe the deal Steph showed me this week on our very own Deal Blast, brought to you by our friends at Morning Save. We've got some seriously useful and discounted products that you're going to want to snag before the holidays. Check it out, y'all. All right, Steph, what do you have for us today? Fill me in.
First up, we've got the Style House Professional Ceramic Styling Iron with accessory set. So you'll get one styling iron, one comb, one heat-resistant case, and an iron holder. Normally, Tori, these is as much as $250.
That's a lot of stuff, to be honest, Steph.
Yeah.
Right?
But right now, they're only $19, which means our viewers save up to 92%. Now, Tori, everyone's skin could really use this. We've got Skin Pharmacy Wrinkle Killer Day and Night Moisturizers and eye serum. It's designed to fight signs of aging so you can feel really confident in your skin. So normally it's $335. I know that's pretty expensive, but we've got it for only $39, which saves up to 88%. Now, this next item is absolutely genius. It's a 2-pack of called cup holder phone mounts.
What?
So this deal includes 2 phone mounts, and it's a really safe way to answer calls or check your GPS map.
Wow.
So normally it's as much as $40.
Yeah.
So now it's 2 for $20, saving up to 50%, Tori. And last but certainly not least, we've got the Sonic Comfort TheraPlus Heated Deep Kneading Shiatsu Massager. Now, normally, these are as much as $130.
Yeah, they're pricey.
But we've got it, Tori, for only $35, saving up to 73%.
Oh, man, so you can feel relieved and your wallet's relieved. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Thank you so much, Steph. That was excellent. We just want to say a lot of people wrote in they also liked Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav.
It was the beginning of a new genre of television.
It was the beginning of something.
Very interesting.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye.